We are live today, and we are going to have a great show because I'm going to share with you some secrets and some information that you need to market while you're sleeping. So let's join in, jump in, ask questions, and get involved and engaged. All right? Because I love my Dubb. Number one fan. See you there.
Hi, Scott Sullivan here. A lot of you know me as Sully. Dubb has doubled my business in the last year. You are about to go on a journey with Russ Johns. Welcome to I Love Dubb.
Well, the best thing about Dubb is the fact that I can make so many personal contacts with it, and it's so on point.
Why do I love Dubb? Let me count the ways. One, because my friend Russ Johns uses it and he knows things.
Darius, we're here. We made it. Right welcome. Happy Wednesday. How are you doing?
We're doing good. Middle of the week.
Oh, man, every day is different and every day is almost the same. What I really love to do is share with people how Dubb has helped me and how amazing this software can be. And last week we talked about creating this simple sales funnel. And I created this and I've been sending it out and I've been getting a great response. So I wanted to dive a little deeper with you and I, because we're kind of the nerds in the crew. And we could actually unpack this a little bit and kind of give people an idea about how they can actually do this on their own by themselves. You good with that?
Yeah.
Let's do that, because I really think it's important for people to understand what a sales funnel is first and foremost. And I want to plant this seed that you can actually, one of the most challenging pieces of being a business owner, and I think we can all agree on this, is time. And the reality is we can only do active engagement while we're awake and online and involved in the community. And the reality is also you should be able to create an environment where you can actually market while you sleep. And one of the simple sales funnels that I created is a perfect way of doing that. And I want to, and there's Ruben. You got your speaker on. We got some feedback.
It says pro tip, use headset or something.
Yep.
There you go.
And so today what I wanted to do with your assistance and support and guidance is walk through this process of how to think through, not only create, but think through the process of creating a simple sales funnel that allows you to tell a story, exchange some information, and deliver it to whoever is watching this or participating in this sales funnel. And then also how you can actually implement some of these things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. So, Ruben, hey, welcome to the show.
No audio.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Russ. Great to see you, Darius.
Yes.
And it's really amazing because this crew here, and I want to highlight Darius and Ruben and the amazing work that they've done over the years. And I want to give them a shout out. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Dubb, reach out to the Dubb community. Actually, I think I have one of these links that I put on here because, one of these things you can sign up for Dubb and you can use my affiliate. It's an affiliate link. I do support Dubb community. I do support the Dubb users and this helps me out a little bit. So keeps meat on the table. So I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But the reality is you can do this as well. And are there, first and foremost, Darius, are there any updates this week that we need to know about, or any changes, or any parts of the program that are getting improved on?
There are some builds coming out. There are some new stuff coming out, but it's too early to release it. So I usually don't like to announce things until we have the working version. We've worked out some of the bugs and stuff and make sure everything's good. Then we'll make the announcement. So some stuff in the pipeline coming down.
Understand.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I've been really focusing on for product is this idea of our desktop app. I've been really excited about our desktop app since our first build. I realized, what if we have in that bottom tray, in that top tray, in that left tray on our PCs and our Macs, what if we all had, that app that allowed us to quickly grab a recording from our webcam, from our screen, a combination, multiple clips, being able to jump back and forth, scenes. So we're actually fundamentally rebuilding the desktop app from the ground up using OBS technology. So Russ, you're the master of this. This is the same tech that StreamYard and Ecamm Live and OBS and all those platforms use. The funny challenge that I was going through was this infinity problem. So I'm sure we've all seen the infinity problem at some point in our lives, where you go and share your screen in Zoom, and then all of a sudden it's this, what was that movie?
Inception.
Inception.
A dream inside of a dream.
Yeah, but instead of Matthew McConaughey, it's me going like this,
Yeah, and it's amazing. Now, Ruben, you have been involved in sales for a very long time, and one of the things that I wanted to start out with for this episode today was how to create a simple sales funnel. And it doesn't have to be complex. And I've discovered a way to do this in a very unique, well, it may or may not be unique, but I think it's exciting. And the first thing that I came up with, though, was how do I articulate these ideas in a systematic format? And one of the people that I've been following for a long time, and maybe you have some ideas on this, is Donald Miller. And his Donald Miller, his process on the sales script is really powerful. And he does the simple landing pages and some of the things like that. And I've followed some of his work for a long time. But it's the hero's journey is basically the way I start out this. So think about this. I want to share my screen here, and this will make a lot more sense than me rambling on. So
yeah, I'm a big fan too. I read Building a Brand Story. I went through that whole process. It was a great experience. I think that a lot of the stuff that he pulls from is stuff that goes back to the roots of storytelling, which is, hero goes on a journey, and here we are as a guide. We're like Morpheus, we're the three kings, we're that friend in the bromance film that helps, this hero to actually attain his or her dreams, and to sort of go through that character arc, going from the before state to the after state, the new altered, upgraded state. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and what he's done with this online sales script is create just a simple page, a simple process that it's free. You can go in there, and I got the link in the bottom here, onlinesalesscript.com, and you can sign up, log in for an account. And what it allows you to do is create and think of these as video sections for your Dubb process. Think of this as, start with the problem. Just like I said, every business owner is limited on time. And so position your product as the solution. Well, I've discovered a way that you can actually market while you're sleeping and continue to do outreach and engagement and educate and inform people about the value and the benefits of working with you or your product, and then give the customer a step-by-step plan. We create a schedule and an intake session. We create a personalized roadmap for your goals and your mission, and then we implement a video sales funnel to meet those goals and that criteria. And then we can actually paint the stakes. What are the disadvantages of doing this? And some of the disadvantages of not creating a funnel or not marketing is that you're continuing fear and frustration of going forward and building your business and not meeting your goals, and hustle culture that has to, continue to be filling the funnel. Or alternatively, you can imagine yourself getting, new leads, booking new calls, engaging people on a regular basis. And so that's something that you need to consider as your business is, especially when you're starting out, your first, you don't have a team yet. You may have a small team, but they're not necessarily able to do exactly what you do. You're passionate about your business. You're passionate about your products and services. And so then you can actually go out there and articulate that in video. And then the customer call to action is, let's book a call. Let's get on a session and answer your questions, address your concerns, and move forward. So those are each of those items are something that you create and put in a video that allows you to actually articulate those ideas extensively, simple and authentically, because it's you're talking about it. So does that make any sense, or do you have any questions in the comments?
No, this is what I always recommend whenever we're talking about building a funnel or an automated process or something like that, where it's going to take the weight off of our plate. It's going to take the burden off of our shoulders. When you do that, you want to make sure that this system is able to replicate that weight that you're taking off your shoulders. It has to be able to do it as good as you did, right? Yeah. So if you're sending messages, and you're typing these things, you would do your best job. If you had all the time in the world and all the effort you could, you would write every email good. You'd put your personalization into it. You'd put your human. And this is where the ability of the technology and video enable you to scale this effort and enable you to work in your sleep and on your weekends and vacations and things like that. So you take this same effort you would put into that one conversation where you're going to say, okay, I have this perfect script for this guy. So John, I know your problem. I know this, and I know everything I need to know about that. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that conversation that you would have. Like this is like a multiple point conversation, right? You're creating a problem and then a solution and then a call to action. And so what you would do is use video and use the technology to automate these processes. So instead of being in person on Zoom or on the phone having this type of conversation, you have the technology actually articulate and share this information for you. The other time is like you're active during business hours, probably, right? Like a normal person, sort of 9 to 5 range somewhere. But then what if you're dealing with people that they're only active at nighttime, right? Like maybe they have a job and then at night they're engaging with your content. So they're filling out your forms. They're clicking on your stuff at, midnight on your website. And you're not active then to follow up with these people to engage with them. And this is where systems like automation and stuff can really make that difference. So you can take that day off. You can have your weekend, have your evenings, and have your systems in place to automatically manage and communicate with those opportunities for you on your behalf. And what Russ is showing here is really taking it to a layer of professionalism where there's psychology and things like that need to be said. So if you might just say, here's what I would do if I talk to a customer, where I say, hi, customer, do you want to buy some stuff? And that's obviously not the right approach, right? You could do that and you could do the wrong thing and you could automate that wrong process. And what Russ has actually shown there is doing some diligence on your actual self, on your own scripts, right? What would you say if you had all the time in the world? You really now thought that out. So you know now how to paint a picture for somebody of this problem and of this solution. So now, again, we've gone into the actual psychology of your offer and how you're communicating your message. So that's the highest level, right? Now you as the person can communicate and articulate your value and your propositions. And so now we need to then extrapolate that from just you being able to say it to a system, to a technology being able to say it for you at scale, at night, on the weekends, when you're away from your computer.
And the other key benefit that I want to share out and plant this seed with you is the idea that you don't always, like Darius said, you don't always know when the person you're sending and sharing this information to is going to be able to watch this or connect with it, so you allow others to connect when it's convenient for them, not when it's convenient for you. And that's an important benefit that I think a lot of people misunderstand. It's like, okay, well, you're hacking the system. Well, no, what I'm doing is I'm leveraging the technology that allows my message, my information, and my personalization to be seen at any point in 24-hour zone, all the time, anytime. And I think that's an important differentiator to understand that, sales is, getting more and more relationship based. It's not necessarily spray and pray. It's more like, I want to make sure that I'm talking to the right person, and I want to talk to the right person, and I want to work with the right people. So it's really important for us to make sure that we understand how to communicate, what we're communicating, and also who we want to connect with.
The aspect there that we're talking about is, some companies, they have employees, right? They have a team. They have a staff that maybe is there overnight answering calls and emails and things like that. Maybe they have a virtual assistant. And if you're not there yet, you don't have a team, you need to be able to act like a team. You need to grow and perform as though you did have a team. And the only way to do that, if you're like a solo person or a small operator, you need technology to bridge that gap. Because the fact is, your competition, someone bigger than you, will probably be able to answer those questions at midnight, or have a VA or a team member answering calls and doing things while that person's asleep. And so for you to remain competitive and, in fact, stand apart from your competition in this growing world, we need systems and stuff to scale, because you can't go from 1 employee to 10 employees without some type of system. You have to get there, and you need the technology and stuff to enable you to overcome the limitations of being that solo person. And it's much, much more affordable and much, much easier to build a technology to scale than it is to hire and to grow team and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be easy to build a system. And then the best part is, when you have a system like this in place, then you can bring the team member on and scale up the system. You just duplicate what you're doing for them. And then now all of a sudden you've doubled your business and your production and your output. So that this is why this system, it will allow you to scale more quickly, even if you're just one person.
And I think the key word there is systems. Every business has to create systems that allow you to actually leverage your time, your effort, your energy. Decision fatigue sets in. And if you've already created this information and you can share it out a couple of times with some key individuals, that allows you to take it off your plate, not necessarily generate anything more than you've already created. And then it's just a matter of helping more people help more people, as I like to say. That's my mission in life. So it's really about how can we help others do that and continue to share that. And it is
last night my son asked me, hey Papa, how can we make $1 million? And I said, well, that's pretty simple. All we have to do is help about 10,000 to 100,000 people.
All right.
And he says, great, how do we do that? And I said, well, that's the next question.
Yeah, that's the other question.
and we are for the record, we are working on an invention, so we'll have to get back to you on that one.
Oh, that's fun. So that's incredibly valuable to think about. And it's a simple math equation. When we think like that and we build a system, after years of being in project management, it's okay, what's the goal? What's the mission? And break it down to the smallest possible task, and then start taking roles and responsibility. You got roles and goals, and all of a sudden you apply resources. The next thing you know, it's just a matter of marching through that. And that's what I love about it. Once you build these systems, and once you have a few pieces of the puzzle in place, then you can continue to evolve and grow with this. You don't have to do it all at once. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. It could be incredibly simple to start out with. And like Ruben, you were saying, it would be nice to have some, more advanced features and benefits. However, getting started is the most important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So
I think in this world, sorry, go ahead, Ruben.
I was going to say there's sort of a little bit of a functional metaphor. I just invented that, which is how we changed our user interface, actually our user experience, to sort of address this initial problem that we were trying to solve, which is how do we get people to actually get sold on the idea that if they record a video and send that video to a prospect, to a client, to a partner, to a team member and watch what happens. Watch how that parasocial relationship gets built. Watch how the trust gets built. Watch how that inspiration and ultimately that calls to action gets built. The way that we address this in our user interface was now when people sign up to Dubb, before what we did is after they signed up to Dubb with their account, we would send them to the subscription page because, hey, we're a business and let's try to get someone to subscribe as quickly as possible. And people did that were initially sold, but we sort of said, you know what, let's give value first, and then just know that, people are going to come to us and say, hey, we want to subscribe, we want to pay, we want to upgrade our account. And what we did specifically was after the sign up process, now we take you to the camera page. So Russ, you wouldn't see this because you probably haven't created an account, but for all new Dubb users, once you click on Dubb's Russ's link, the dubb.com/r/Russ Johns, you will notice that after you sign up, we drop you into the webcam, record a video. If you don't want to record a video, that's okay too. Just get out of there, click the back button, click the Dubb logo. But what we're trying to encourage you to do is to understand this idea that you don't need more features. Right. You just you need more results. And results starts with communicating with video. And that's what we've been proponents of since the beginning. And here we are so many years later. So Russ, thanks for bringing up that point.
I'll have to go back and update my tutorials.
Just to continue on that as
hey, welcome to our world.
Right, yes. Yeah, exactly. Constant update. Just to continue on from what Ruben said there, with a lot of people, they will sort of put the next shiny object in front of them instead of the next step they need to take. They're like, okay, well, I need to do this work, but maybe this other thing can solve it for me. Maybe this is going to be the silver bullet. And a lot of people are constantly chasing this next shiny object, this silver bullet, this next thing. And they probably have already spent too much time and energy into resources and things like that when they really should just dial down into some basics. And that's one thing I always stress, because we host live trainings every day. And every time I do in there, I tell that to every single person there is, if it's already working, don't fix it. If it's not broken, right? If you have systems in place, continue to use them, just make them better. And, stick to the basics, right? Just start one place. You got to walk before you can run. And I've seen far too many times where people will like, I'm going to buy this $10,000 course and I'm going to pay for this $1,000 a month software. And then I'm going to do this and this, and with no plan after that. And I'm like, okay, well, actually, let's build a idea of what you're going to sell. Now you know what you're going to sell. Now let's try to sell it. And then if you're having trouble, then you get the coach to help you sell the product. And so some people, we tend to go about things a little bit backwards sometimes because we're looking for the easy way out. And sometimes it seems like the easy way out is to just pay or to have more features or things like that. Yeah. And oftentimes there is a little bit of a, boots to the ground we got to do, a little bit of footwork we got to lay. And this is, again, where systems come into place it takes a little bit of modification, a little bit of tweaking to get that system in place. But once you do so, you just multiplied your ability to perform like exponentially. So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Well, I call that, I call that the lies of lessons, because there's always another course. There's always another YouTube video. There's always another thing. And as a professional squirrel hunter myself, it's like I get distracted at a moment's notice. Right. And it's really important. I sounds like I need you as an accountability manager. Hey, Russ, just get to work. Just roll your sleeves and do the work. So
yeah. I mean, I have an interesting metaphor that I hope people find inspirational. So I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I'm on YouTube all the time. I basically canceled all my TV subscriptions, and I just only consume content on YouTube now. And of course, I'm also creating content on Rev Show and on my personal channel and stuff like this. But it's so interesting what the YouTube algorithm does for me, and I have to train it. So anytime I randomly watch a video, or if my kid grabs my phone and watches Pokemon videos, I have to say, don't recommend this channel. Otherwise, it's going to think that I'm into that content. Yeah. But the story here is that I recently got targeted today just because I'll watch a lot of videos on music theory and music production and things like this. So there was a video that got sent to me, that got recommended to me, which was Post Malone. Post Malone is the he's a super famous R&B artist. He's done a ton of stuff. He's got total critical acclaim. He sells out stadiums and stuff like this. But it was one of his first videos from 9 years ago, where he was singing a Bob Dylan song. And it's his actual name, Austin Post, and it was just him playing Dylan, and it was amazing. It's very decent. And this is the reason why I'm saying this story is because, you know, when we look at large companies, when we look at successful salespeople, and all the technology, all the tools, you know, that Darius was mentioning that they have, you know, we forget sometimes that if you peel back that onion, if you turn back that clock and go back to the beginning of that person, the beginning of Post Malone, Austin Post, the beginning of Darius Santos, the beginning of Ruben Dua, the beginning of Russ Johns, if you go back to the beginning, it was just us with a metaphorical guitar in our hand, singing our heart out with no production, with no, you know, special fancy producers and tools and sounds and technology, and it was nothing. It was what Darius calls boots to the ground. It was just us trying to communicate, trying to share something, trying to connect with people. And then since we paid our dues and we continued to, you know, now we find ourselves in a better situation where now, you know, we have a stage with microphones and, you know, channels and stuff like this that we worked really hard to get. And it's all about, I think, really paying your dues and just understanding that if you want to write a song, start with a guitar. Don't start with a full-on music studio. Start with a guitar. Stay super simple.
Right.
Yeah, I love the analog analogy, Ruben, because as a musician as well, you know, we talked about this, and there's no shortcut to doing the work, practicing, and actually doing, like Darius says, just put it out there. Just the simplest process, the simplest. And once you create it and you can duplicate it and share it many times, it makes it so much easier to think about that process, just like practicing. Okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes this morning. I've already created my simple sales funnel with the assistance of Russ, and I'm going to create this simple sales funnel. I'm going to share it with 20 people with a personalized introduction, and it's going to get a response. And after a period of time, you can measure that response, and you can measure how that actually impacts your community and your relationships and the conversations that you're going to have. So this is like when I was doing the pirate broadcast. I booked thousands of calls using Dubb, and almost every single guest I had on the pirate broadcast for almost 600 episodes was through a Dubb interaction. And so it's proven to me over and over and over again. And if you want to do this, you want to provide this for your business, you want to develop it for your business, it's a simple process that we can walk through. Let's jump on a call. If you use the link, I'm going to give you a free strategy session, which is worthwhile already. And so just reach out. It's not a difficult process. So we can work together, and you can discover something to work for your business. And Dubb, I've done this so many times that, in different industries, different verticals, different products and services. And once you understand the strategy behind it and the opportunities that exist, it's perfect for you.
Love that.
The resources here too is no matter where you're at, if you're brand new, if you're experienced, any industry, any vertical, any product, any service, your marketing, your sales, anything, you can come to any of us. And we've been doing this for years now at this point, and so we can definitely be a source of strategy, of resources. We can support you guys in a number of ways. So we offer live training sessions every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific for that. We have chat support. There's email. There's, of course, Russ has made himself available. So when you guys have questions, you want to, double your business, you want to grow your business, you want to blow it up with something different. You're not using video yet. You should absolutely be using video. Come talk to one of us.
There's another point that I wanted to mention, which is really a brutally honest thing that I can share, which is, it's this idea of people that don't necessarily want to adopt the most effective methods. Let's say using Dubb or using video for your sales process. And instead of that, they want to go to this idea of, what's the easiest solution? How do I buy a list of emails and import them into a system and broadcast an SMS or an email message? And, I might ask you, the viewer here, is it is it a vulnerability problem? Do you have a concern of being vulnerable, actually taking risks, putting yourself on video, and potentially getting rejected? Because I have seen a lot of people in sales, they're not actually salespeople. They're salespeople who are more like marketers, or more like email marketers specifically, who say, I don't want to have 100 sales calls because, and this is not them saying this, overtly. This is what the reality is.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want to have 100 sales calls because I don't want to get rejected. And if I blast these emails out and I put this link in there and just ask people to put a credit card in, then I don't have to worry about being rejected. And that idea of vulnerability is overcoming that, I think, is one of the most difficult things to do, but is the most rewarding thing that you can do. And the reason why I'm qualified to say this is because I was that person. And it was very difficult to get over that, to get into this idea of, if I go and put a video out on Dubb, if I send that to an individual, if I broadcast that, if I put a video on YouTube, people might not like it. They might reject it. They might reject me, and that's hurtful. But the second that you overcome that and realize that your audience doesn't have to be 100%, it could be 5-10%, and you'll do just fine. The second that you realize that, the second is truly, I believe, when you overcome a lot of these challenges, these interpersonal, these sort of mental health, psychological challenges that we all think about and we all face when it comes to specifically putting our face on the internet.
Right.
Well, we can never run out of abundance, and you and I've had this conversation, Ruben, where it's a real thing, and there's people that don't want their face on in a video. They don't want to shoot video. And the response I always share with them is, we can create a video that tells the story and you can narrate over the top of it. It doesn't have to be your face. There's a lot of YouTube accounts, going back to the YouTube example, there's a lot of faceless YouTube accounts that are making a lot of money because they're sharing value. They're sharing the services. They're sharing the information that somebody is out there looking for, searching for, and needs your help to provide that. So let's not forget that, we all have our gifts. We all have our message. And yes, this is true. Some of us are shy. Some of us are, not willing to put ourselves out there to the degree that we will receive that satisfaction. And once you get past that little hump in the fear factor, it's amazing what you can do. I've watched Ruben accelerate. He's now my coach. So
it's the same.
Hey, that's not possible because you're my coach.
Ask anyone that's done like cold calling's been around for whatever since the invention of the phone, right? Yeah. Ask anyone that's done cold calls. They have a tremendous fear, like real estate agents. There's all the agents that are like, I will never cold call anybody. It's a nightmare. I start sweating. And then you have other agents that they have a system where they're literally cold calling 27 people at a time. And when someone answers, they're like, oh, hey, what's going on? So, and that becomes their bread and butter. You ask them, it's like, no, of course, cold call. Why wouldn't you cold call? That's how you feed your family. And you ask someone else and they're like, oh, yeah. And so video becomes the same thing. You talk to someone who's been successful in video and they're gonna be like, why wouldn't you do a video? It's like, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. And then there's those others that are sitting there on the other side of the camera that haven't recorded yet, sweating beads. And I feel for you guys, but I can promise you it's going to be worthwhile to overcome that.
Absolutely.
And Russ, I wanted to share the gas pan method. Is this a good time to do that?
Absolutely. Okay,
so the gas pan method is something that I've been working on, and it really encapsulates, how to grab people's attention and ultimately get them to become a client or a conversion. Now, Russ, in the private chat, I put this text. I don't know if you have the ability to kind of real time throw that on the screen. So if not, no worries. But I'll just kind of verbally run through this. So the gas pan method is as follows. Okay. It's GASPAN. Okay, that's the acronym here. Okay, so I want you guys to visualize a gas pan, that pan that gets put under your car when you change the oil. Okay, assuming you don't have an electric car. Actually, there's probably oil in electric cars or hydraulic fluids. So all cars are going to have this pan. There it is. Okay, so here we go. Number one, grab their attention. This is so important.
You got
We
2
have
or 3 seconds, right?
2 to 3 seconds to grab someone's attentions. They will make it's called a first impression. Think about that, how that exists in the real world. It's unfortunate and it's sometimes rude and obnoxious, but it is human psychology and it's hard to get away from this. So we might as well lean into it. We've got 2 to 3 seconds to grab their attention. One of the things that Rob and I have been working on for our ads is we've invented this character called the sales doc, where Rob puts this medical suit on, and it's absolutely hilarious. You guys are going to see this, but we got this thing built. This is a medical lab. A doctor coat, the sales doc. Okay. And Rob wears this, and he has a light and a little tuning thing and a stethoscope, and it's hilarious. We are working so hard to grab people's attention in our ads in the first couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Number 2, address the audience. A lot of people forget to do this. Okay, cater to everyone, sell to no one. You have to be niche. You have to be specific to a couple of audiences. If you cater to everyone, your conversion rate is going to be really low. If you cater to some specific audiences, all of a sudden your conversion rate flies through the roof, right? So for us, it's coaches, it's consultants, it's real estate, it's manufacturing, it's it's attorneys, it's sales leaders. Those are a lot, but we have specific ads, specific campaigns, specific landing pages, specific videos for all those individual segmented audiences, and we're trying to do a much better job at that. In fact, we were just talking about that today. Address the audience. Who are those people on the other end? They want to know that you're talking to them. If you sell to coaches and consultants, mention that, because then they'll say, hey, I'm a coach or consultant. You're talking to me and I'm interested, and I'm not going to click that X button or that stop button. Number 3, provide the solution. Okay, if people don't have a solution, how are they going to get to that arc? In Donald Miller's Building a Brand Story, he's talking about the arc, getting to a new state, an improved state. If you look at diet ads, health ads, it always shows what's the before and what's the after. And those are very controversial. I won't get into that. But the idea is simple, that we need to show how XYZ product is going to make people happier. Like, for example, Coca-Cola will make you happier. Ding. This is actually my water bottle. I don't drink Coke. Number 4, proof. We got to show proof. If we don't show proof, how are they going to believe us? Okay? It's not what we say, it's what they say. Think about that for a second. You probably know someone that's a little arrogant, right? They kind of talk about themselves a lot, what they've accomplished, where they went to school, what job they used to have, what kind of car they drive. You probably know that person, right? And you always feel a little icky when they're saying that stuff. You're like, I'm friends with this person, or this person's my family member, so I kind of have to tolerate this, but I don't really feel right about this. This feels a little arrogant. It feels a little, sinful, right?
Yeah.
So, we all know that person. We don't want to become that person. Why should we become that person if we don't like that person at a barbecue, at a family party, at a college reunion? If we don't like that person, let's not become that person. Yeah. Let's have other people say how great we are. Right. Let's get testimonials. Let's get case studies. Let's have other people show results. Russ, you embody this. I love the stinger that opens up your videos. What is it? It's people that love Russ. And if people love Russ, and it's other people that are saying that, if I'm a client, if I'm a prospect, now I'm going to love Russ. Like, if these people love Russ, and those people seem like very intelligent, awesome people, successful, I want to be just like them. So, social proof, case studies, testimonials, that type of stuff is so important. Grab that stuff. Use the video reply feature on Dubb. Please, 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 please go do that. Create a calls to action. Use the video reply. Ask for testimonials from people. Embed those video testimonials on your website. Incorporate those testimonials onto your advertisements. Add those videos to your playlists on your videos, and just push that content out as much as you possibly can. Darius works so hard in the daily training, 5 days a week. Dubb.com/T is the URL for our training. He talks about this, how to capture that. Bookruss.com. Encourage you guys to go there, capture content, capture social proof. The next one is the action call. Ding, 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 ding. The call to action, the CTA. That's like the currency of sales and marketing. If we don't provide a clear call to action, what are people going to do? Do you want them to lean back in their chair when they're watching your stuff like this? Or do you want them to lean in with that squeaky chair and actually put their hand on that mouse and fill out that form, pull out their credit card? You want that chair to squeak. If you don't get that chair to squeak, you haven't done your job. So remember, get that squeaky chair and give them a call to action. That's the action, okay? Like a director, action, okay? And then, of course, I had to add the end because otherwise it wouldn't be gas pen. It would be gas spa. So you got to add the end. And I was like, what's a good end? And then, of course, it came to me, never
give up.
Ever give up. Thank you, Rose. Never give up. So that's the gas pen message. Grab their attention,
Right.
Address the audience, provide a solution, give proof, give a call to action, and never give up. That's the gas pen method. Trademarked here. I'll write a book about it later.
I love that. I love that. That's a great bookend. We started with Donald Miller and ended with the infamous Ruben Dow. And so what we want to do is encourage everyone to do something, take some action, gas pan, Donald Miller, whatever process you decide you want to use, get engaged. And also we wanted to make sure that we had dubb.com/T/T for training. Darius does a tremendous job at training every day. He's showing up. He's helping the community. He's growing the community. And they have a tremendous team. So I encourage everybody to get involved. And it's really Sherry Lolly. I love Sherry Lolly. Might need to hire Russ to get in motion for my new products. I'm here for you, Sherry. You're one of my favorite pirates in the whole world. So I'd love to continue to work with you. And here's the goal. All we need to do is create some systems, work the systems, and continue to grow and evolve and connect with each other. So thank you both for being here today. I really appreciate you. And I know we had some technical issues in the front, but hey, that's the way live streams go. And that's why we're here. And that's why we'll continue to be here every Wednesday at 12:15 Pacific time until at least Arizona time changes.
Right.
And then it'll be
Everyone be in the same zone.
everyone will be in the same zone. But thank you so much for being here. Darius, always a pleasure. Ruben, love you guys. And I just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to learn more about what you're doing. And I'd love to help anyone that wants to learn more about what you're doing. So let's go ahead and wrap this up and make sure that we have an opportunity to help more people.
See you guys there.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Until
Russ.
next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.